Hey everybody, this is Perch, and this is the first time doing a live stream here in Texas. It's 2022. Thank you everybody for joining, and we will see how this all goes. So right now we are live. If you're hearing absolute silence right now, go ahead and tell me in the chat this microphone sucks because we're trying to do. I don't know why I'm referring to myself as a plural, but trying to do something a little different to improve the audio. It will take a little while. The room is very echoey. I haven't unpacked everything, and that's what's going on. So please, if you're listening to this, let me know if you can hear anything in the chat. Joe's going to be here in a few minutes. Just had to run an errand or two, and we're anxious for him to come on in here. And yeah, well, first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has supported me during the move. Was very understanding why things were late to get to. For those of you who weren't understanding, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, it's way too early for that. Anyway, um, it a lot of you were really kind, lots of good suggestions, lots of good advice, and absolutely to the people in the chat, I am not nearly entertaining enough all by myself. So Joe will be here. We're gonna do something a little shorter. This is abbreviated, still getting used to it. Like I said, I think we're getting fully back into swing of things starting next week. Have some good guests on. We already have one interview in the bag, which should be coming out in a day or two for a new project that we're excited about. And it's just going to be hopefully everything is exciting. It's getting back to normal. If you've ever moved, it is a pain in the ass of boxes, and you get the worst part about moving is when you get to 75% and there's still 25% somewhere in a box, and it's just a nightmare. You're looking around for cords and you're like missing one part because people who packed you up are incompetent. That's kind of where things are at. But anyway, drinking a nice glass of whiskey. I hope everybody else is having a good drink too. We'll see. Exactly. Just at 10 minutes late. So we're 7 minutes in, 3 minutes, and then I start to look like a real ass. I mean, technically we're already there, but hopefully everybody had a good time. Hopefully the year's off to a good start. It's off to a very weird start in comics. So I thought I'd throw out some serious stuff before we get all into it. If you didn't watch the video yesterday, it's an interesting story to dig into. Unfortunately, the more you dig into it, the weirder and in some cases the worse it gets. And the news I'm talking about right now is that there's this bit where the vast majority, 48. Now, if you really dig into that number of 48 titles out of 50, many of those titles were Batman adjacent, is the best way to put it. It's still working off of the Batman name, but things like Batgirls, it's a Batman title, but it's obviously it's Batgirls. It's lumped in there, so you can make some arguments that it's not entirely fair, but it is absolutely a messy situation. And when you look at this, one thing that I'll show in graphs because everybody loves those is that the erosion from number one to number 10 is happening faster and faster and faster. And it happens the most when you've got a lot of the exact same title going on. In this case, if you're so heavily weighted on Batman, your window to get a really good story going is it's tiny. If you don't catch people's attention right away, it's small. And if you're really going all in on limited series, having so much of your line weighted on Batman is just it's super dangerous. I think it is absolutely painful for this to happen like this. So I don't know. It worries me a lot, and I don't think it's a good sign. We've had what, like roughly 50 years of the comic industry dying. These kinds of moves are the more weird and scary ones that show a lot of bad things. Anyway, I don't know. It's a shame too, because if you forget about all this other stuff, you have got so many characters that DC has. I mean, if you think about their roster of people in, certainly in the future with the Legion, the Superman titles, the Green Lantern titles, Flash, Wonder Woman, all of these different books, they have I mean, who has more characters at this point, Marvel or DC? It feels like DC probably has more lore in terms of stuff they can get into, and here we are with 48 out of 50 of the books Batman related. Yikes. Anyway, um, thank you everybody again for coming to the show tonight, watching me entertain just by myself for a minute while we wait for Joe, who's now officially more than 10 minutes late. So that is on him. But again, hope everybody's having a good time. Yeah, welcome to the company of Bruce. That's really where we are right now at this point. So In terms of what you can expect again tonight, we're going to go through a couple different things that are going on in the news. If you have questions, you have things that you're interested in, throw them in the chat. I see that there's some questions already about the solicitations and everything. I am going to do the solicitations for DC and for Marvel and for Dynamite and for Image and as many as I can get to it. But at the moment, let's get Joe in here. Joe, how are you doing?
I'm all right, Perch. How are you?
There you go. I was filibustering for like 6 minutes, so everybody's going to be very glad to see you here.
Oh, good. Did we go over all the people that died before we in between this live stream and the last one?
Well, thank you for bringing that up while the skull is on the screen. That's handy. Yeah.
Yeah.
By death, you mean the death of DC's publishing arm.
Well, I'm gonna get there because I have a joke for that too. But
Oh, good.
yeah, no, don't worry, people. I got you covered. But what was it? I was thinking about it. I'm like, between the last stream and this one, major people who died include what was it? Bishop Desmond Tutu,
Okay.
John Madden,
Yep.
Betty White.
Okay, Betty White. Yeah.
What was it? Bob Saget.
Yep. Who people say is me for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is.
Sidney Poitier.
Mm-hmm.
It was Meatloaf, Louis Anderson.
Right.
That's a lot of dead celebrities in like a month.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to go through another 2021, and who could blame them, really?
I can't either. You know what's a bad sign about everything this week?
Yeah.
With everything that's been going on, what a bad sign is when the guy who in the latter end of his career kept going back to the Batwell to find relevance to diminishing returns. He died today.
Oh, no.
That's not a good sign.
Jesus. It's not a good sign. What do you make of all so you and I were talking about this and it's I don't know. I don't know if you're like me, but I try not to go all in on Death and Despair. Well done, by the way. What are you drinking there?
Okay. Just bullet bourbon. As you can see, it's been a great week.
Yeah.
No, but yes, I'm just gonna have some of that. But yeah, this has been a very, very weird week.
Mm-hmm.
On top of a year, on top of I don't know, a couple of years now. It's just it's bad, but
off to a weird start for sure in this year. Yeah, a lot of, things delayed, weird choices. Just increasingly, I always try and people in the comments always say I make too many excuses for things, but I try and figure out what was the line of thought that got us here. And right now in comics, like it is hard to get there. Some of the decisions that are coming out, you have no idea why they would be. I can't get to it unless they're drunk.
Yeah, no. To paraphrase Mike Sikorsky of Red Letter Media fame, comics make me not want to be alive anymore.
Oh, you're much worse shape than I am.
No, it's I'm teasing a little bit, but but no, it's what was it? I somewhat blame Wes Overthinking Critical for this.
It's all his fault, yeah.
A lot of it is. He's not here to defend himself, so
yeah,
that makes it easy.
Yeah,
exactly. But before I recorded a retrospective with him and Breen on Monday, and I'm not exaggerating, folks. He's like, oh man, I really hope there's like some news this week. It's been like slog, like with like comic news. Like we need some like big comic news. So so that didn't help.
No. That's I'm glad that he brought that up. Yeah.
No, that was good. I'm glad he wished for that and didn't say like, gee, it'd be nice if me, you, and Breen like won the lottery this week or something like that. He wasted it on doom and devastation throughout the comics industry. So
yeah, well, at least
great. Yeah.
He got some news out of it, so that's good. What do you think?
I got a few videos. That's good.
I've got a couple things that happened this week to talk about, but things I didn't put on the list.
Sure.
The IDW losing G.I. Joe Transformers. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, that was one of those things. It's like we all knew that was going to happen. We were talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work because I knew the deal that IDW had with Hasbro, rather less so that and more so that this is what Hasbro wants to do is get most, if not all, of their licenses as far as comics go to like one source, or like do a package deal. They don't want to piecemeal every property out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I wasn't sure if they're going to lose it all at once or piecemeal. It should have been more obvious it was going to be piecemeal when they lost, Magic and some other stuff. But that's clearly just what's happening.
Yeah.
It's I it's it. There's
What
been better times for IDW.
What do you make of Rogue stealing that tree's powers?
There's a sap joke here somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
yeah,
get there.
it's sticky. Yeah.
Give us time.
Yeah.
This is give me a
Yeah.
minute.
We heard, so this was one of those stories that kind of flew kind of under the radar, which was this announcement from David Gabriel that they were going to increase events in 2022. This is, of course, on the Marvel side. What in the world is, what does increase events even look like in this current scenario where there's an event every month?
I guess it's a more between a couple of like I guess there's going to be more pocket events that lead into the larger events, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Like
good. Yeah.
let's do partial crossovers that lead up to a bigger crossover that leads up to a bigger crossover, like kind of like Absolute Carnage and then Null, and like, but doing that every like month instead of like 6 months.
I just it's there's clear numbers that show there's diminishing returns. People are not
Hmm.
tracking enough of them. And to come out of that and say, well, the solution to this is give them more. And what was weird is Gabriel kind of acknowledged the fact that there was event fatigue, but
Hmm.
then stated that the solution to event fatigue is more events. It's again, we talked about at the beginning. I don't understand the thought process anymore, and that's the troubling part with comics. I love comics. I love these characters. I love the history of it all. I can no longer understand where the hell people are coming from.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but it's a lot of the same players who are still in position.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I was talking about this with the comics friend of mine the other day because we were just thinking about it, just like thinking in terms of like leadership and things like that. And I want to make it clear I am not disparaging any individual here. This is I am just saying,
Wink.
yeah, you know who you are. But the idea here is less. It's less that it's speaking more to a systemic problem, not an individual problem. So when you look through the big companies, it's like, okay, well, you have Jim Lee and Marie Javins, and they have both been in comics for over 30 years at this point.
Hmm.
Then you go over to Marvel, and Quesada's been there forever.
Yeah.
CB Sobalski's been there for over 20 years.
Yeah.
He was an edit like he was an editor or late 90s before he switched over to sort of that like talent recruitment stuff, and then coming back for EIC. So, and Tom Brevoort's over there, and again, someone who's been run the
45
show for a
years, I
while. So,
think.
yeah,
Is that right?
it's something about he's been there about 73 years, I think he said.
Ah, perfect.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, but that aside, but then you look over to some of the other smaller publishers too, and it's like, okay, boom, Ross Ritchie goes back to like working at Diamond,
Hmm.
has been
Yep.
around a long time.
It's the same people.
Yeah, exactly. AWA,
Yeah.
obviously Axel and Bill have been
Yep.
around for a long time. You go over to Dark Horse, it's never not been Mike Richardson.
Yeah. Basically, you're
Yeah.
saying if you take the top four comic companies, the leadership represents roughly 500 years of experience.
It's something like that because you go to Image, and obviously Image is run by
Yep.
people who've been in for a very long time. Ahoy, Tom Pyre has been an editor for going over 30 years. So yeah, you look at everyone, it's like, okay, like it's not, and that's not a bad thing, but you look at it and there's not, it's not so much that's a bad thing. It's ironically, it's a lack of diversity.
It is a lack of diversity.
Yes.
The takeaway I have from that is, can we? Is there still enough time that we could trade Betty White for some of these people?
I mean, yeah, that sounds great. I think there would be a lot of people who, in all fairness, would have also been like, you know what, for you, Betty, I'll croak.
Yeah, yeah, they'd go willingly. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'd trade Meatloaf for most of them too. Anyway.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, so maybe you can understand this for me, and the people in the chat can do as well. I've seen a lot of people clowning on this Batgirl costume, and granted, I don't like this Batgirl costume, but it is accurate to this Batgirl over here. I mean, it is mostly comic accurate, isn't it? Like, what am I missing here? I mean, it's too glossy. The contrast needs to amp down a little bit, but
yeah,
like I don't know. What am I missing here? Unless it's just this costume always sucked.
Yeah, no, I mean it's also the Batman 66 Batgirl costume, just a little like frillier.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Okay, so maybe I was just he's got it here. It's just. This is a CW show, right? Is that where this is going?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
is it even going to air on that stupid channel?
No, but I mean, I appreciate that they are, honoring the design of accused statutory rapist Cameron Stewart.
Yeah,
by going with his Batgirl design. So
that's good. It's good that we don't judge people too harshly. Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
if there's one thing about comics is that they give second and third and fourth chances to read this. Anyway.
Well, it's a lot like Squeak Little Bitch Scolari, if you rang me another 13, 14 more times, I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, exactly. There you go. Well, yeah, makes no sense. Free comic book day. All right, so I'm curious what you think. So this is what they've announced for this year. We're getting a Spider-Man free comic book day. What the fuck is going on with Venom there? And I say this as somebody who loves John Romita Jr. I really do, but he is not doing himself any favors with that Venom. Like, what's going on with his ass? His leg? I don't. What happened? Are you like me? I find myself increasingly having to defend this guy who I think is a decent comic legend. I loved his Daredevil. I loved his original X-Men run. I think Romita is a pretty solid artist, but what is that?
No, I'm not into it. I mean, I haven't been super into a lot of Romita's stuff since like probably him on Thor.
Yeah,
might have been the last thing I was like, I'm enjoying this, but yeah. So it's been a while. Most of I don't get it at all.
Yeah. What's with that? Oh, my dog's barking. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if any of that's coming through on the mic. So
no, I heard it. So maybe.
Yeah. Okay, chat. There you go. Yeah, I don't get what's going on there.
It's not great, but hey, it doesn't make the old bad. It doesn't make the old stuff bad.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can still like the old bad stuff. The old good stuff. I don't know anymore. Hey, you. Well, also we had the GLAAD Awards this week. The nominations out.
Yeah, we did.
And there's some decent comics on there. I mean, there's a bunch on there. We had the John Kent Superman reveal. We had Al Ewing's Guardian of the Galaxy was on that list as an award. Nothing from the X Office was nominated.
No,
is that peculiar?
Shut out.
Completely.
No, completely. Last year, X Factor got a GLAAD nom, and that was it. But yeah, this year, complete shutout. And I mean, I feel like awards have been out to get them from the beginning, though, because everyone was assuming Hoxpox was going to get an Eisner nomination, and it didn't get anything. And Hickman didn't get anything that Eisner round.
I mean, I felt like we spent much of 2021 talking, members of the X Office really talking about how they were being inclusive and LGBTQ friendly and all this this stuff, and then nothing. Like I Am Not Starfire got nominated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I Am Not Starfire equals more representative than the entire X office. Is that the message?
Apparently. But
Okay.
one thing here too is I think this is the first year they actually added a comics category. There were two. Was only one previously.
Yeah,
Now
this
there's
one we
two.
had two. Right. We had the regular comics and graphic novels.
Yeah. So because they used to, because I've submitted before, and it used to just be all in one category, and it made it very much impossible. Like if you were doing like an anthology and it wasn't explicitly queer, it was going to be like, well, there's no chance that it's going to get a nomination. So.
There's a question here. Is book only allowed for GLAAD nomination the year after the book ends? No. I mean, John Kent Superman, the coming out issue, which was that was November?
I believe to qualify for a nomination similar to the Eisners, where a minimum of 3 issues have to come out that year.
Well, that didn't fit Superman unless they were going with it. Was the signs were there all along? I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? What matters? Fantastic forecasting. Who's your? We're supposed to hear that this week. In the next 7 days, we're supposed to hear who's been cast, or at least who the short list is for Fantastic Four. This is the third go around. Who are you hoping for Fantastic Four? Here's my pick. For the only way we can go is up for the Fantastic Four. What do you got?
Unfortunately, what I really wanted was Betty White, Bob Saget, Meatloaf, and Louis Anderson. So I'm kind of fucked now.
Oh, yeah. They wiped y'all out in one. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a real shame. A few weeks ago, that could have happened.
It absolutely could have happened.
Absolutely. So, damn shame.
What about people in the chat? What do you want for Fantastic? Everybody always has Jim of the Office as Reed. Do you? Well, let me ask you this. Do you care?
I don't care, because this movie is gonna probably not be great, and even if it's great, like if it's a great movie, it's not solely going to be because of the cast. Like,
yeah,
casting has never really, for these superhero movies. Again, we've had so many examples of people being upset about casting, and either the movie ends up being good or bad.
Yeah.
People hating on Keaton getting Batman, One thing people seem to memory hole somehow more than Keaton is everyone hated that Heath Ledger announcement that he was going to be Joker. They were like, the 10 things I hate about you guy.
Yeah. No, I remember
the guy from A Knight's Tale. He never did a really good movie before that. And then he just gets this role, and people are like, what? And then it was very tragic when the Olsen twins killed him.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take a drink. Well done. You bring it from directions I don't see it coming in. That's people take that in strange ways. Anyway, poor Jeff is in a meeting. What are you doing in a meeting? It's like, now that I'm on Texas time, it feels much later. So I hope you get through that meeting. I hope the meeting is on how we can get the covers to your comic to actually remotely match the interiors. I hope that's what the meeting's about.
Yeah.
So so they put out a trade of Jeff's Green Lantern run, and they picked that clickbait Teen Lantern chewing out the Guardian for the cover of the trade. What at this point they are just screwing with everyone, right?
Well, I think it was a whatever. A lot of times the default with these trades are cover A, issue 1.
Sure,
it's just what they did.
Yeah,
there's no there was no extra art and finesse that went into it beyond that.
No thinking.
And that's well, there was the other day too. What was it? Walt Simonson was complaining about the John Byrne Fourth World Omnibus, because even though he's the one who did the covers, it's a John Byrne omnibus. He was kind of like, why, if you're billing this as John Byrne, put John Byrne's art on the cover.
Yeah.
But that would have required, designing a cover.
Yeah. Thought. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. Robert's got a question here. Hey, you notice how it seems Bendis is still acknowledging John and Saturn Girl? I think he did in this the book, The Justice League Meets Legion of Superheroes. But wait, I thought John being bi meant he must actually be gay. Well, little do you know, but Saturn Girl is trans.
But
Yeah.
but no, yeah, they've always went with bi. So I can do anything with that. So
Yeah. I mean, nothing matters. Yes.
he can be a swinger. He's young. Why we all gotta get him settling down now?
Yeah, exactly. Just let it go any direction. That's
Yeah.
wait, that's never mind. Well, Dynamite has some covers next week. Kind of doing this a little differently. I mentioned this as kind of an abbreviated show. How about Evil Ernie? Do you remember Evil Ernie? Or is that
Oh, I remember Evil Ernie. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is the time to come back. I don't know. I don't know why you would reference that album cover for Evil Ernie, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
It's a Kurt
about
Cobain joke because
no,
Courtney killed him. Yeah.
no, but no, it's fine. I saw it in the shops the other day.
Yeah. And here's we got a couple Dynamite. We got a few Dynamite things. But here's my question: is the Vampyverse is really Dynamite's doing the multiverse at this point? Is that what's going on?
Oh, why not? I imagine it's probably like I'm gonna guess that maybe it's a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Well, oh, you think? Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. So I think those books might be a gateway to fun and adventure.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I mean, I'm speculating on what exactly is going on in the middle cover, but
Yep.
It feels like she sat down and there was something on that ledge.
No, but you know what? Hold on. I want to zoom in, get a better look at it.
Sure. Yeah. You and most of the chat.
Here. Yeah. So yeah. No, that is like a bird on the bikini there. She didn't like wet herself. I wasn't sure what.
That's good. Yeah.
That's good. But unlike the cover on the far right there where it's clear that she's very wet.
Yes.
But
that's right.
But no, but I like that robot cover. That's interesting. It's different. Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things there. I always enjoy what Nick is doing there, and it reminds me I should reply to him because I've got an email from like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, you should do that. But no, he's good people.
So the other thing that happened, which is comics tangentially related, old Joss Whedon. So let me ask you this, because I had this conversation with some people here. Why did Joss say anything?
I don't like. That was the really confusing part because it felt like everything that needed to be said or whatever had been said, and we were coming up with our opinions, how we felt about it, and moving on as a society.
Like years ago, right? I mean, I feel like the Joss thing was kind of long gone, and then so apparently he hired a publicist.
I can't imagine he did. I'm sure he did, but it's like that publicist was out to get him.
But I think the story is he paid.
Yeah.
So he paid, and that was one of the most brutal cell phones I've seen ever. Like that, like there's a lot of things he could have done, including I don't know, getting the virus and just spitting in people's mouths in the streets of LA would have been a better move.
Yeah, I mean, no, there are very little things that would have been worse than this.
Yeah. So is he done? He's done, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
he's got to be. Or maybe this is one of those things like it's like a producer's bit where he's trying to be as canceled as possible.
Is he going for an editor job at DC? Yeah, could be.
I mean, in comics for editing, I'm sure they'd still hire if that's what he wanted to do. That would be what a rough break for Whedon to go from directing billion-dollar movies to maybe editing something like that. But you know what? I don't know. They probably wouldn't because everything's so public and out there. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you
it's
think
really weird.
he seemed to take a approach of dumping on Gail Godot was going to win him some approval? And did I miss the part where people dislike Gail? I'm pretty
Oh,
sure most people like her.
she was attacked on Twitter often for being Israeli because she had to serve in the Israeli army, is because you have to. It's like a draft, but I know I'm oversimplifying it and all that, but she
But
was attacked constantly for that.
is that maybe the answer here? Is that Joss was looking too much on Twitter and thought they'll accept me if I attack other targets they don't like?
I mean, I've heard dumber things from arguably smarter people.
I just what a colossal mess.
Yes.
What do we got here? So here's a question, burning question. What do you think? Well, Joe, you take a pitch of this. Do you think when comparing comics to manga, people should acknowledge how American comics had to deal with way more baloney?
Hmm.
Is that fair? Does manga have an easier run of it?
I mean, manga has an easier run of it. That might be somewhat of a part of it. They didn't go through the Wortham stuff, so
But I think
so.
what people
Hmm.
I think miss is that there's a lot of manga that flat fails. I mean, now granted,
Oh yeah,
that's not me saying it's not doing well. It's obviously doing very well, but
oh yeah,
you do have to keep in mind that the stuff coming over to the U.S. is we're not getting 100% of it. We're getting the stuff that is more market friendly that will do better.
yeah. No, I mean, we're only getting the sliver of stuff that they feel will go over well here, and even then, a lot of it doesn't go over here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't sell well. I mean, but
Yeah, I mean, no.
it's like they. But I think the difference is the stuff that does really well. They know how to market it. So when they see that there's a lot of interest in stuff, they leap into action and do a far more effective job of taking it to that next level.
Sure.
Where in the US, it's like something's really successful and their only answer is to screw with it, break it, put it into a vent, do 5,000 clones of it and run it into the ground.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh yeah, no, and I mean it's weird because I think we both heard the pushback on um, when people make the argument about the trade dressing and stuff like that kind of pushback that doesn't matter,
yeah,
but no, it really does.
it
It's
really does. Yeah.
I think a lot of people that get into some of those arguments forget that they have been reading comics for 5, 10, 20, 30 years and don't remember what it was like trying to figure it out at first.
Hmm.
Because yeah, you have some of these conversations and you're like, no, I don't think you get that. How the hell are you going into a shop today and being like, I really like that Spider-Man No Way Home. I was a big fan of the movies and like I really want to dive into the comics. So where do I start? I don't think they understand what it's like to be in that position anymore.
I don't. I agree. I think there's. I did a video on this. I don't. It hasn't come out yet, but just there's a massive gulf between the publisher and the end customer at this point that they've installed themselves. They're very insulated from all of it.
Yeah.
I do appreciate, by the way, Jeff, for you joining us in the chat. All the people who
Yes.
came to join us, thank you very much for hanging out with us. First stream of the new year, we'll be
Absolutely.
doing more. For Jeff, he's talking about doing some more comics. My only question for you, Jeff, is which Batman title are you going to do, and will it feature one or more Batman? So you can kind of let us know. So all right. So speaking of manga, we've got 4 books. It's just the two of us. I know the answers to all this, so it's all you, Joe. But you're good at coming up with stuff. So what do you think we got here? These 4 are all kind of funny. So
Yeah.
what do you make? First one is you got a little couple here sitting on what looks like a broom. Looks like fun. What is this? What is this first one on the left here?
I mean, I don't know. Hmm. I guess that's like Little Nemo's adventures in getting to second base.
Okay, I like it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's looking downward anyway.
Yeah.
He's contemplating. It's daily report about my witch senpai.
Ah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I don't know how you.
It looks a little bit more like it's a little late in the day to be I don't know. That's fine. That's fine. They can call it that.
I originally thought it was, hey, I'm getting splinters in my ass. But anyway, how about this second one? We've got people looking up. It's kind of like a Marvel movie, except one person's looking like, what am I doing here? So what do you make of this second one?
Let me see there. I mean,
she looks kind of annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's already an American graphic novel, so I don't know if they could call it this, but it looks like, the story of my tits.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like that, straight and to the points.
Yeah.
So this one is, no matter what you say, furry-san is scary.
I've met some furries, so I know.
They usually are.
Don't look up yiffing, kids.
So I like Who Farted as well. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So coming to Texas, I don't know. What's your perception of Texas, by the way? I've moved here. What do you think about this state? What do you make of it?
Mostly, I don't like on the highways sometimes where it's like it's the speed limit's like 80, but then it'll be like 65 at night, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the variable stuff is extremely strange.
I hate that.
Yeah. There's also, I noticed that the drivers around here have a very kind of loose interpretation of what the dotted lines on the road mean. And you can pretty much do what you want with it. And that's been fun. But I will say I see more masks in kind of my little bubble here than I did in Seattle, which I don't think most people get. The reason I got onto this topic was there's apparently a very large furry community in Dallas that I have to imagine has a lot of sodomy going on.
Oh yeah, no, that's it's a lot of that, and also, but it's also probably a lot of like local meetups to go bowling.
Yeah, there you go. I actually haven't seen any bowling. I have never seen more Hooters in one place in my life. And I mean the restaurant ish, but why there's like, it's like Starbucks except Hooters. There's so many goddamn Hooters.
And you can get better wings in Texas. I don't get it.
I don't understand. By the way, somebody tried, like I went to dinner with somebody and like, hey, you know what you should eat? The cow fries. Cow fries are great. Look, we all know it's balls. You don't need to play that trick anymore. It's 2022. We can all Google that very quickly. Anyway, third cover here. What do you make of this third one? This one's just kind of nondescript. Girl standing here.
No. I hope it's like Serial Experiment Lane, the next generation, but
okay. That could be. It is Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. That's got to cost more money though, right?
I would think so. For Shy?
Yeah.
Could be. All right, last one here, and I had to cover up the title here because the title's right there. But what do you make of this last one? This is definitely in the BL genre of manga.
Sure. I had to upgrade to a more expensive mattress because my boyfriend prefers it colder at night.
Okay, I like it. I like it. It's more simple to the point. Bad boys, happy home.
I don't know. They seem like pretty good boys to me.
It doesn't. Not a lot of bad boy behavior here. The place is mostly cleaned up. Looks like the sheets have been recently washed. I don't know.
Yeah, they're sleeping with like different like comforters. I mean, they're being very respectful.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. So somebody points out Twin Peaks. I talked about this somewhere else. Twin Peaks. Look, I realize I'm going to sound like a complete tool saying this, but they don't have Twin Peaks up in the Pacific Northwest. They used to have Hooters, but they ran those all out of town. But I stopped by a Twin Peaks here, completely misunderstanding what that restaurant was all about, which in hindsight was stupid. But I walked in there and it was quite surprising what was going on.
So you're going to rent out the pink room when I come down there, right?
Yes, absolutely. You At your ass. But anyway, that was embarrassing. I should be more savvy than that. But here's one last manga for you. What next week's most trashy manga? What do you make? What would you guess this title is? And by the way, try and make sense of that bottom. Like there's is she wearing 2 bikini bottoms and the one piece as well? Like there's 3 separate outfits going on. Twin Peaks did have amazing beer, by the way. I will say that.
Oh, that's good.
I mean,
this seems like maybe it's like something like my elven wizard father will keep growing my tits until I slay the squid beast.
Perfect.
Okay.
I like it. The guesses we're getting here are pretty wonderful. So yeah. It's right. No, I didn't think Twin Peaks was themed after David Lynch's thing. I thought it was it looked like mountains, and it was just different. Anyway, does a hot elf live next door to you?
I don't know if I'd want to live that close to a giant squid.
No, probably not. There's definitely, I mean, it's manga, so there's got to be some squids in there somewhere.
That's fair.
So I don't have the comics from previous years, but I thought we could just talk a little bit. And I instead went for something I know you enjoy, because we have a video in the can that we'll get out here relatively soon, talking about the time that Lois Lane married Satan.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So I asked you this in the video. We'll ask these people, what again drew you to the Lois Lane marries Satan Superman issue?
I was going through some back issues at Next Generation Comics here on Long Island, and they've got a great back issue selection. But
there you go.
I was going through the Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane issues, and that one was there, and I just saw the cover, and I was like, I definitely have to hit up Perch, and we have to talk about this one.
It was so I just have several now pages of just crazy Superman covers. It really, there's been more conversation this week about misleading covers, because the issue where John Kent is protesting came out, and people were surprised to discover that there is zero protesting inside that comic, and it was a misleading book. But the idea of misleading Superman titles has been around for a long time, right? I mean, these.
My God, yeah.
But the difference here is that these all were so ludicrous. They were still related to the story in some weird ass way. And that was sometimes kind of the fun of how you got there. Like, I mean, in this one, let's just kind of assess what we've got here. So first, you've got a pirate woman and her army of dogs coming out of her spaceship, and the dogs can vomit energy bubbles. Her name is Pegleg Portia. I mean, comics don't have this kind of lunacy today, right?
No, God, it's really great though.
I mean, there was a time when DC was putting out books, and their top effort was cosmic spitting dogs. It's pretty awesome. I mean,
I'm with you.
It's a happier time. Then this other one is like Superman. What gets me here is Superman has apparently gone back in time, or he's gone to some other world. I guess he's gone to some other planet, and he has a crappy costume for some reason. But he's weak, but he's pretending that he's still strong, I think is the basic premise here. What cracks me up is how sad Superman looks to be duping these cavemen people.
Yes.
He realizes he's doing wrong, but anyway,
it's like a makeshift costume. Like, but that's confusing, because it's like, what did Superman make that costume and dye it and everything in these times? Like,
yeah, that's with and he's got sticks to help the wings. I mean, there's a lot going on here. By the way, hey Eric Canetti, and if I said it before, but I'll say it again. Congratulations on your successful launch. Great comic. Love seeing all the pictures of people taking it out of the box, and that's some great stuff. So
awesome.
Love all that. Bring back Pegleg Portia. Of all the, like, Bendis is bringing old characters out of the woodwork. There's no room for Pegleg Portia in the modern DC universe. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, that's weird. And Jeff also pointed out, why do these guys on the cover here on the right have like pointy ears?
Well, this is actually a scene from the upcoming Lord of the Rings show on Amazon.
Nice.
That's what you
No,
have there.
that's
I look
good.
forward to all those videos. Well, Jeff, so you're writing a cosmic book right now. You can't fit Peg Leg Portia into comics, into Green Lantern. I mean, somewhere you can't like have her somewhere in the back. I mean, come on.
Sounds like an oversight to me.
I agree. This one on the left has been shown a lot here. This is Superman Red and Superman Blue, which of course we got later. But there's the other things going on here are pretty awesome. So Superman Blue stayed on Earth. He's married Lana, and Superman Red is apparently married Lois, which confirms she is a communist. So it is. They both got children. They've got Superman Red got the dog. Like there's a lot to unpack in this one cover.
Yeah, no, there is. It's a shame that, Superman Blue couldn't at least get, Beppo the super monkey or something.
That's true. He gets no pet at all. He has the powers though, and I like how he spies on his alter ego there with no powers. They enjoy kind of watching. And there's even in this kind of idealistic life they've got going on here. Superman is still screwing with Lois by like, she got the Superman with no powers. She has to live as an ordinary person, the dumb bitch. I mean,
yeah.
Meanwhile, the kids are flying around. They're having a good time.
Well, that also says a lot about the differences between what Lois is capable of and what Lana is capable of.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, the Superman on the right has the secret of Superman's new Rainbow Fingers power. Also, yes. Superman, it looks like he's letting himself go a little bit there.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't have the same broad shoulders that he did. He's yeah, it's not great.
He's kind of he's dumpy. I mean, yeah,
yeah, his hair is like lifeless. He looks like he's going bald. It's like
Superman gone to seed. Does Lana still exist? Somebody asked in the chat. Is she? Where are we in continuity land? Is Lana still?
Who cares?
Well, that's fair. In the linear verse, everything is possible, Joe.
Oh,
I love how it's painful. It's painful to just sipping this whiskey. Fuck DC, what are you doing? Oh, god damn. I hate work. I love comics, but this is a dark time. Joe's crying.
Oh, because I like these characters and no one cares.
The stream has gone off the rails. He's just got to put some more whiskey in there. Somebody asked, these these shit covers sold 100,000 plus. So I can't.
At least 2, if not 300,000.
Yeah, this era of Superman, I'm not sure the exact issues, but I do have some newsstand numbers. This era of Superman routinely averaged out at 350,000 copies.
Yeah, no, these sold like crazy. I'm pretty sure I checked that Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, issue 103, mind you, not 4. Yes. Sold in the like 300,000 area.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Lois Lane, all those books, like the Superman family of books during this era were all clearing 200,000.
Yes.
Like, all of them. They outsold Civil War by quite a mile. Which just makes it hurt more. Anyway, there you have it. Superman's rainbow finger powers, they didn't last.
No, I guess he got into better shape and couldn't do it anymore. Is that the lesson in this issue?
Yes, even the Jimmy Olsen book. Yes.
Oh yeah, the Jimmy Olsen book. Well, I mean, there was also a time where that Jimmy Olsen book was done by Jack Kirby
Yeah, that's right.
for like a year.
We can't we can't get like Pepe Larraz on a book for 2 issues. Kirby's
No, he
doing
can't.
Jimmy Olsen for a year.
Yeah, Jack Kirby, the legend after he created the Marvel Universe. It's like, I'll do Jimmy Olsen.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. We need you. We need you in here, Jeff. You'd bring us back. Yeah, that's right. Shooter's Legion had several, several issues that were that hit 600,000.
Oh,
Just a
yeah.
legion of superheroes. That's where things were at. Now, of course, they were I mean, you could find these comics everywhere. That was a lot of what was. I mean, it's not, people are like, oh, like it was just that the comics were much better. No, I mean, it's actually because they were everywhere. They sold them.
Yeah.
They didn't go down this rabbit hole of the direct market. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get on to Superman Hitler because that's always fun. But first, I like how we've got daydreaming, the 2 faces of Superman. And what's cool here is you got Superboy daydreaming. One of just being the champion for justice, and the other one where he's just wearing a mask, hanging out on a rock, and it's like, I'm gonna steal money when I grow up.
Yeah, there you go. That is something. Yeah, no, I like that. Is it the mask that does it?
Just the mask. Well, it looks like a slightly darker blue. Like they went a little bit heavier on the color, but
yeah,
anyway.
no, it's something.
There you have it.
I like that. Why is Superboy there? Just like someday when I grow up, I'm going to become Superman. Like that was going to be a challenge for him already being Superboy. Like I'm in competition here. I can't. And then it's like, I don't know. And then if you're going to call him Super Menace, you should really design another costume for that and really, really lean into it because that would be amazing.
That's true.
That's my Superman pitch: is bring back Super Menace.
That would have been awesome.
Right?
I agree. By the way, Breen, I see you're there in the chat. Always good to see you. And Joe Casey is still saying, when the hell are we having our debate? So let's get that going as soon as we can.
Oh, Breen, hello. Yeah.
Then all right. So now we get to the comic on the right. And the only thing I can say to this is, well, comics have always been political.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, really what the cover tells us more than anything is, Batman's a real ham.
Yeah.
It's like, way to make it about you, Batman, which really is foreshadowing to where we've come today.
That's true. This was a clear indication of what was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Could they do a comic today with Superman doing that?
They could, but God, the vague tweets would just be unbearable.
I'd love to see the reaction on Twitter. Proud supporter of NFTs. From people who got to deal with that thing coming out of the solicitations. Now you shouldn't do it as well, but I think anyway, Superman looks so stern. Like he's got an angry. They've even shadowed down under the nose a little bit. Yeah. Also, you'd think that if the rest of the Justice League were hanging out right underneath his podium here, Superman would just kind of look down and laser them all to death, and then this comic would go in a very different direction.
Looks like tomorrow belongs to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Why is Vigilante in there? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
one of those things doesn't belong.
It was slim pickings, I guess. It's
anyway. All right. Well, from Nazi Superman to Lion and Fat Superman.
Yeah.
What is your favorite of these covered? What is your favorite Superman Gone Crazy issue?
Oh God. It's tough. I mean, it's tough not to go with the eating all the hamburgers one.
Yeah.
That's a classic. This one is a lion though, is really up there.
Yeah.
That is pure madness.
It kind of fits with that issue of Lois Lane where she turned herself black to see if Superman would still marry her.
Yeah.
Here, Superman has changed himself into a lion. I mean, really, he's just kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
some super and I love the way he's explaining it. Like Lois is terrified and has her arms out and is just like, "Don't come anywhere near me." And he's talking to not her
Yeah.
because the perspective there, he's talking to like someone else, I guess,
Yeah.
saying, "Yes, Lois, I'm Superman, but a strange fate has changed my form. Now you and I must act out a modern version of Beauty and the Beast."
And why? Why? And how much of him is Beast? Like, is there a sheath in there? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
I don't know. Those look like he's wearing gloves, though.
Yeah, that's true. I always am curious when people are putting in the lettering of the signs behind them. Um, Fresh air fun.
Yeah, but also I like that they felt the need to have an illustration of normal Superman behind you to be like, see, that's what he normally looks
Yeah,
like.
in case you forgot,
Yeah.
he, he should this is what he should look like. But
I
yeah,
like to think like Mort Whitesinger saw that and was just like, you got to put a Superman behind that, or the kids are going to think that's the new Superman.
that's
Like,
exactly right. I Fresh air fund. Oh, it's fund. There is a D in there. I see. But still, I still don't understand what that even means.
that sounds like the Human Fund.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, that so then we've got Great Krypton. I came into this booth to change identities and I've become a super fatso. I like how Superman is like, look at my shitty body. God damn.
Yeah. And I like that he's blaming the phone booth.
Yeah,
I
well,
think we've all been there. You haven't seen someone in a while, and they're like, "Oh, I was in a phone booth earlier."
yeah.
Yeah.
There's Perry with his cigar too. Like, holy crap.
But also, it's like, Perry, you got an office. What are you doing waiting for the payphone? Like, also, where the hell is this payphone? Because it looks like they're in a building.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and it looks like a freestanding. Like, yeah, no, I've got questions. I would have had some notes.
Yeah. Did
Uh,
he got into the phone booth and suddenly got fat, is what he's trying to claim.
yeah, which yeah, I don't think anyone believes that for a second.
No. I do like how in this illustration, though. First of all, the thing I noticed about all these, and you check closely, the faces are very expressive. Like Superman genuinely looks both fat and terrified here.
Mhm.
And then I like how they've gone ahead and drawn some weird hoopa fat right there. I mean, he's
Yeah, they really went all in.
yeah,
They,
somebody in that office. Character reference.
but he's still got pretty defined legs and arms,
Hmm.
which is
Well, he
it's
still
odd.
lives. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not a monster. Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. Luther should have stole more of those pies. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
all right. Again, I love the ones that are telling a story, and this one is two crazy issues in right here next to each other. So first off, I've always loved the Superman is torturing people because this happens multiple times. You remember that cover where he's like holding water and makes Jimmy and Aquaman like crawl race to their death. So this is
Oh
along
yeah.
those same lines. Like Superman has, for whatever reason, I guess there's only a fire hydrant worth of water left in the world, and he is just slowly watching people, including Lois. I think that's Lois. Die. And this is the Miracle of Thirsty Thursday, which is also just an awesome title for a story.
Yes.
Yeah, so many wonderful things. Yeah, the water going between his legs, the person. There's a woman already dead in the background there.
Yeah, no, That woman's dead. That dog is probably dead.
That dog is definitely dead.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. No, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. And then this other one is even weirder. So this is the all red kryptonite issue. And so we've got what it was like a yeah, okay, so I'd love to meet the prankster who tipped me off that I find a big story on this island. So we're meant to believe that Jimmy, Lois, and Clark rowed a boat, which we see at the bottom, to an island to see a pile of rocks with no pants, who vaguely looks like Superman. And then Clark's like, "Holy crap! The red rocks are red kryptonite. In a few in a few moments, it may change my body in some horrible way."
Well, I like that Jimmy clearly doesn't vet his tips. It's like, how is he still alive?
Yes.
Like, he would have just been like, oh, I got tipped off. There was a great story. Oh, no, the mob. Like, that would have happened decades ago.
Well, and Lois is like, this is the world's greatest reporter, right? Like, what's she doing here? She just went right along. What is going on? And I also think Superman is describing the potential problem in the most creepy possible way. My body is about to change.
It's not great.
No. I mean, and he's positioning himself well to. This was back when Eddie Brazanga was in the office, right?
This might have been a little before him. It might have just been, yeah. Well, you know what? It was probably Julie Schwartz. So same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Joe should kick Perch. Yeah, absolutely. You should always kick me. I can just drink in peace. All right. Here's Superman making Jimmy marry a monkey.
Yeah.
So again, these covers pack in a lot of things. So not only is Jimmy marrying a monkey, Jimmy is the guy in this equation. They've got the monkey dressed up as with a veil. Superman has donned a witch doctor costume and looks to be stirring some kind of potion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what's how did he become the local witch doctor? The key to these comics is you do want to pick up the comic and understand how batshit crazy this is.
Yeah. Also, it's pretty homophobic of Jimmy to have to stress that it's marrying a female King Kong.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like, just be a little more comfortable in your sexuality, Jimmy.
Well, and it would be a female Queen Kong, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's very weird.
What's that monkey's pronouns?
Yeah, that's I don't know. Donkey Kong.
There you go.
But yeah, it's
Donkey /
yeah, there you go. But and then what we got Supergirl going mad, murdering 7 million people.
Yeah. And notice how they've drawn her. You have to look closely, but she is just kind of tossing, like, look at her hands. Like, she is over this entire bottle of Candor bullshit and is just she's gonna murder everyone. Also, Superman, who has super speed and everything else, it feels like he could do more than just kind of throw up his hands in slight alarm there in the background.
You would think that, yes.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, here. Anyway, great stuff. Kill people. All right, somebody referenced this one earlier. We'll do the one on the left here first, but the one on the right pretty much is one of the most awesome covers of all time there on the right. But we'll get there. So Superman, Jimmy Olsen, that relationship, and again, I will stress that this comic sold well in excess of 250,000 copies when it was out. So in this one, Superman is insisting that Jimmy call him dad, which is weird. But he's angry that he adopted him, so he's burning this weird robe. He got him like a Superman robe.
Yeah.
And he's burning a hole in it. And Jimmy's heartbroken here.
Yeah, no, Jimmy's not taking this very well. Also, I want to stress to everyone listening This is the cover to Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 30.
Yeah.
A Jimmy Olsen solo book on issue 30. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It hurts inside. All right. So Superman was often in it, like Breen said, they call me dad or Papa Spank. Superman was weird. A lot of the parent stuff was weird. And then they had that whole era where they were implying a romance between Supergirl and Superman, and like incest was very like there's a lot of stuff that was going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So the comic there on the right, which I would pay an absurd amount of money to own that cover. So whoever has this, I would sell off my child to own this. I absolutely love everything because first of all, Superman looks really grim there in his face. The expression is pretty amazing, and then Superman is hurry up with your graves, Jimmy and Robin. I'd finish you myself, but haha, I have a code against killing. And Batman's like, I got your back. I'll do the job, boys. He's got a Tommy gun there, and they're dig now, die later. Everything about this is awesome.
Yeah.
I just yeah, Jimmy Olsen ran 163 issues, as they point out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also like that Jimmy's kind of questioning it, but Robin's like, well, I always knew it was going to come to this.
Yeah, Robin seems like enthusiastic.
Yeah, like finally into this nightmare of being woken up in the middle of the night and raped.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Although he's wearing less pants than usual.
That is true. Yeah, I think that's the angle, the shadow, everything else.
Yeah, I appreciate the shading there in the inner thighs.
Yeah, well, you would, yeah. I love it. All right, I think it's our last bit of Superman comics, but again, Superman, the dialogue was pretty amazing here. Please, Superman, you've kept me imprisoned here for a year. Either free me or kill me. All right, I'll kill you. Now, you're telling you have to. If this was the kind of book, don't you think if they were putting this out, it would do well?
I would
Today?
think so. At this point, yeah. Why wouldn't people want this?
I've got to believe that this stuff. So the one on the right, meanwhile, again, the shock story of the year. So this is Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, issue 73, and it asks a couple questions. So Superman has been bound via its glowing kryptonite cuffs. Lois is whipping a mannequin of Superman who seems to be really into it. And why is Lois Lane lashing a wooden puppet of Superman? Read The Dummy and the Damsel.
Issue 73
Right.
of Lois Lane.
Again, I can look it up in a moment here. I think this was probably top 300,000 copies sold.
Oh yeah.
Imagine walking home with that as a kid, and you're showing your parents. There's
that's a cover to own too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. What gets me, and this is always kind of what I come down to, because there's this whole arc of the big two are both publishing 80 plus comics each.
Yeah.
You're telling me that one comic out of 80 from DC can't be something like this?
Oh yeah, no,
one.
That would be great.
Like, I feel like even if they just reprinted this comic and then put it out for $2, which would be what, a 20% increase, 200% increase from the original cover in some cases.
Yeah,
I think it would sell better than many of the comics that are out today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was, what was it back? What was it, 2 years ago when Tio was let go?
Mm-hmm.
Back then, before that, there was the whole thing where he said himself that um, some of these reprints were selling better than their new titles.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. It's hard to believe Didio's been gone for 2 years.
Yeah.
I almost says the audience for this comic is only age group 60 to 80, but I got news for you. That's the age group for most of the comics being sold right now, my friend. So I don't think much is changing. But and again, they've done every variant cover. You mean they can't have a smartass variant cover month where they just do this? So many things. Anyway,
Every issue of like Superman or Action Comics should have a cover like this as a variant.
how what do you think? So in hindsight, so Didio got out right before the pandemic and all the craziness. Did he wound up being a pretty good thing for him? Would you say?
Yeah, I think overall everything that's happened has kind of, um, improved his legacy overall. It's funny because you would have been hard pressed to find people that wanted to see Dan there longer.
Yeah.
And as soon as he left, like even before all of this, but like as soon as he left, people were already like, that's a bad sign. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, but you just said how much you want to see him go.
It was very, very bizarre.
Yes.
I think he is. It is weird. I think in 2 or 3 years, if things continue the way they are, there's going to be a lot of like, man, I wish he would come back.
Yeah, I think that's already there.
Yeah.
I think if they offered like, I think people would not be upset if they rehired him.
Yeah, it's weird to think. It's very weird to think that that's we've somehow gotten there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what do you want to see for that? We'll just leave this on the screen for a while. So what do you want to see? Intentional, I think. But what do you want to see this year? What are you hoping to see happen in 2022?
Like comics wise.
You take it anywhere you want it, man.
Sure. I don't know. I'd like to see something new and interesting. I'd like to see some good news.
Mhm.
Like personally, right now, I hope I'm proven wrong, but I feel like there's a chance that the Saga relaunch is going to be softer than people want it to be.
Yeah.
It's very weird that it's coming out next week, and there isn't a lot of. There was more buzz when it was first announced coming back than
It's true.
than mere day. Like we're literally days away, and it doesn't feel like people have been able to maintain that excitement, which is what I was talking about months ago. Being unsure that you were able to maintain that momentum all those months leading up to it. And it doesn't seem like they have. That's not to say stores haven't ordered heavy and that people will buy it and after reading it will be really reinvigorating everything. But like I'm not sure it's going to be as strong as people want it to be. So I'd like to see it be very strong. I'd like to be proven wrong, and that this is going to be big in a way. Because again, since it's been years, I mean, retailers would talk about Saga being a book that got people to buy other non-big two books.
It was. No, I mean, there were shops, and it depended on the market they were in, but there were shops where Saga was absolutely their top seller of the month.
Yeah.
And that was there were shops that was the book that paid their rent.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It does not feel like we're even close to that level of hype right now.
Yeah, and that's bad.
It is.
If we're looking at Saga not crushing 100,000, that's bad.
I do believe it will. I think it will get to. I think it will get around that. I think retailers are going to be really excited, but I also think that you're going to see Saga do something it hasn't done, which is I would predict that the like number one relaunch issues, you're going to see that title fall pretty quickly from however it comes out as. It's not going to hold 100,000 issues
No,
ongoing.
I think there's a chance it's going to hold under 30.
Yeah, it's quite
Maybe
possible.
I think it'll take a little bit to dip below that, but it I mean, even before it went on hiatus, the floppies really leveled off between the 50 and 40,000. It didn't, and even lower than that at times. I mean,
Yeah.
it was not like the trades became the big thing for Saga, and that was able to maintain continuing the book.
Now,
But yeah,
Saga, they've said that there's been some comments that they're not going to try and get a show out of it.
yeah,
But I have to believe that that comic is headed for Amazon Prime or Netflix or something.
yeah. It'd be silly not to if the interest is there. Take the money.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm with you. I think it would be a bad sign. I'll change the picture there. It would be a bad sign if Saga is softer than expected, and it will be a bad sign if it drops quicker than expected. But I believe both things will happen.
Yeah.
I am terrified by this news that we're going to get more events.
Mhm.
I think that here's the crazy part. So this Death of Justice League, which we looked at a little bit earlier, but
Yeah.
this Death of Justice League is supposed to kind of tie into the Death of Superman issue 75. That whole thing. Well, it's been 30 years.
Mhm.
But there's no remote chance that it's going to have anywhere near the impact of the Death of Superman,
No,
particularly when
yeah.
and I won't put him on the spot in it, but the creators who are doing individual titles, they're not. I mean, those titles are going to continue. They're saying they're going to kill off the whole Justice League, and it's going to tie into kind of this 30-year anniversary. But none of the other titles are going along with this. It's confined just to Justice League. Who cares?
Yeah, no. I mean, this isn't going to come close to not only Death of Superman, but Death of Captain America. This isn't going to touch that.
No.
I mean, this is not going to touch it. Honestly, again, it's like you're lucky if you get this to pop over 100,000. I don't think it goes over 200,000.
No, there's no chance of it going. I would be surprised it went over 100.
Yeah,
We're currently in a world where the Justice League isn't in the top 50 of their
yeah,
books. So
yeah. So I mean, it looks like you're probably doing this for close to maybe 80,000. Maybe that's probably closer to the realm of if they really push it as something you can't miss.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yes, Jeff's promising a debrief. I'd love it. Absolutely would like to hear your thoughts on that. I know there's been a lot of things involved in there. This one is this is like picking at an open wound as well. What do you think about DC releasing a second Batman Beyond miniseries approximately 1 week after the announcement of Sean Murphy's White Knight with Batman Beyond?
I mean, it's terrible.
So this is this is big. As harsh as I can be. Look, DC. It is fucking madness that this company, you have a creator, and I realize Sean's been on the show, and I know there's a lot of people in chat who like him and everything else, but regardless of anybody's personal feelings about that, he moves a lot of books for DC. His numbers are high. He is one of the creators that can get to 100,000. He sells trades, and his numbers are very, very reliably strong. He hasn't had a comic in a couple of years. I think the previous White Knight book ended. We got the Harley Quinn series from Katana, but then this is a very highly anticipated book. So, like a bunch of idiots, you have that launch. First off, you announce a Tom King kind of Bat adventure book, but the same day, correct?
Yeah, it was the same day.
Like an hour earlier, I think they went out with the Tom King, a short limited series. He's going to be doing this Batman kind of wacky thing in March, but it's out of continuity. It doesn't. I don't know how much that terribly matters. Then you roll out the Sean Murphy Batman Beyond announcement. which is something people have been looking forward to. And again, has reliable sales numbers. But that one gets kind of buried under the first announcement. And then a week later, you're doing a new Batman Beyond miniseries. You haven't had Batman Beyond on the shelves for quite some time, but now suddenly you're going to have two books doing the same fucking thing out at the same time. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as angry. I've been drinking, so I'm more tired than angry. But this is just,
no, I understand, but no,
it's stupid.
Yeah.
You have something in your hands that is hard to fuck up, and you instead go out with the laziest, dumbest, most completely inane marketing approach you can think of. It is like, why are you just wasting your ammo? And I agree, by the way. I don't think marketing is coordinated, absolutely. Sure. Except some of these, it's the same editor, it's the same person who did the stuff. What are you doing? And the only thing I think of is somebody is stupid enough and lazy enough to be at their job and be like, I'm just fuck it, I'm just going to put everything out all at once, and then I'm going to go and watch Netflix for the next week. That's what this feels like. It's just idiotic, and I hate seeing good efforts. And I know there's people who are fans of King's work, people who hate King's work. King is still a name. Him doing Batman's probably a big deal. Why would you take two known names of the Batman and do an announcement within an hour of each other on the same day? What is wrong with you?
No, I mean, it's a disservice to both Tom King and Sean, and it would have been better to do, you got to spread them at least a week.
Absolutely. Why would you just waste all this stuff all at the same time? Batman Beyond is a character people want to do. Why again, let's just dump all this shit out at once? There was no Aquaman book for months, and then suddenly it's like, fuck it, let's put out multiple Aquaman books in the same week. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well. Sorry.
You're fine.
What's something good that that's coming? Is there something that you're looking forward to that is good?
We still talking about comics?
Whatever you want.
No, I mean, I'm getting my Batman No Man's Land Omnibus Volume 1 in the mail tomorrow, so that's going to be fun.
Very nice.
And then I ordered the Absolute Fourth World by Jack Kirby Volume 2, so I'll have that full thing, so that'll be nice. I'm reading A Scanner Darkly right now, which, considering everything, is oddly optimistic. But
Jesus.
But yeah, so yeah, that's all stuff I'm looking for. I'm trying to think, in terms of new comics coming out. I don't know.
There's some good stuff. What's even despite everything, I find that there's at least something out every week I'm enjoying.
Oh yeah, no, there's always something good coming out. I'm just trying to think in terms of anything that I'm super jazzed about. This is the problem, is so much of it isn't at the big two, and I feel like I've had that conversation with so many people for so many years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of baffling that things haven't swung back one way or the other. It seemed like to take a brief hiatus with Hoxpox, and then kind of went right back to it, with little exceptions here and there. But yeah,
I don't think Zeb Wells was a bad choice for Spider-Man. I think that was probably as good as we can get.
I think it was a good choice in that I mean, we both talked about how we need to stop marketing for the creators and their names all the time. There's a handful of creators that works for. Beyond that, no. And we've seen it over and over again with things like Spider-Man. We just saw it recently where they put J.J. Abrams on a Spider-Man book, and it did not do nearly as well as it should have.
Okay, so so to that point, I know there's a video coming out in a few days. So here's some bullshit too, because I got to hear some confused complaining from a staffer at Marvel about why the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man didn't do great, and completely doesn't get it. doesn't understand why the title didn't do well, doesn't understand why more people didn't get it. This title, apparently internal metrics were that it was going to cross 250 for issue one, 250,000 copies for issue one, didn't get close to that, that every issue would be over 100,000, but was completely baffled as to why that book didn't succeed. And the reason it didn't succeed was obvious to everyone.
Yeah.
Why is that a surprise to people?
That's the thing is, I mean, on so many people, I think all over, you know, and it's not just a YouTube thing. It's people you know in real life. It's people you talk to at the comic shops. All seem to kind of get it and have these same sort of ideas of what to do, and are kind of all on the same page. And nothing. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, but this goes back a long way. I mean, what was it? I remember so many years ago. This was around with, like, you know, Secret Wars or whatever, you know, like the Hickman, so like 2015 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Of there was that rumor going around that for a couple of days that X-Men might be spun off into like its own universe.
Yep. Yeah, on Mars, I believe, which
Yeah.
it kind of got anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And the overwhelming consensus that I saw from people were kind of like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, like X-Men fans kind of like their own thing, and there's too much over, like, this could be an interesting way to go. And then Marvel completely shut it down, and not only did that, but acted like anyone was an idiot that thought they'd ever do something like that. Like, they were very oddly like, we would never do anything like that. I don't understand why people think we. And it was just like, why are you acting like that?
It was weird because, I mean, and then sometime later, you know, Reminder posted the receipts. Basically, that was what was going to happen, and just bizarre. I was extremely frustrated with this conversation where the attitude was, and I think the exact quote was, "What's it going to take to please these people? We go get a major name, we put a major artist on the book, they still won't buy it. These people, what's it going to take to please these people?" Meaning,
Yeah.
presumably the customers. And what a bizarre take off of a out of continuity, extremely weak written, goofy Spider-Man limited series that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Grumble, 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 grumble. Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, no, that was amazing. I mean, I'll check out you know, Jim Rugg's Hulk Grand Design.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You know, that'd be fun. We should try to talk to him.
Absolutely.
You know,
I'm very curious to see where your run's going, Jeff. I think I'm very curious to see where that lands, and I like the fact that you're bringing up characters that the company had apparently forgotten about. So we have Rachel Pollack, who did an interview with us. We got an omnibus coming out from her soon, right?
Yeah, no, we'll have to have her back and chat with her when that's going on. I talked to her the other day, and she's writing the forward for it, so
beautiful.
Should be good to go.
I'm looking forward to that. I think there are good things on the horizon. I think that Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman is quite good. It's a shame that it's not being. It's weird. It's another case where they seem to market and hype that up, and then I just got tired. I don't know, but I mean, it's starting to get to the good parts, I think.
Yeah.
So I think there's some good stuff. I like I said in the video, I do not understand why they shot Yara Fleur right in the ass. For all that.
No, that was weird, but also it seems like, what was it? We're in terms of what we're dealing with here, that publishers are doubling down on like more anthologies this year.
That's true. More anthologies and more events.
I don't quite get it.
There's no sales figures to back that up. I mean, the events, yes, the events sell better, and I understand the feeling of crack there, for sure. But I do not get I don't get where they're coming from with anthologies. The sales numbers are pretty abysmal, and they're not being collected in trades and doing very well. I don't get why that is a strategy for people.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's hey, I got another 2 pages of Art Adams stuff, so I'm slowly zeroing in on my grand goal of having an entire issue of original art there.
That's awesome.
One day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my daughter to come back in and review some comics, and if I can have to do that. I don't have COVID yet. Everybody predicted I would after moving to Texas for like two days. So
yeah, no, that's all good. But God, what else was it? So yeah, I mean, all that's going on. There's just not. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be some. I'm sure we're going to be interviewing more people, having campaigns through like Zoop and things like that.
Yep.
So there's going to be some interesting.
Almost everybody who's come on the channel wants to come back. Actually, nobody said they don't want to come back, but a lot of people have reached out, so they want to have talk more and do more. And I think we're pretty excited to. I don't know. I'm excited to hear more from these people. I always love these interviews and do more. Getting down here and getting everything set up was a grind, but
yeah,
it's I think that things will hopefully pick up, and I think there's some good stuff out there. The part that gets me down, just if you can't tell from the videos, it's not a bad comic or a comic I don't like or a creator I don't like or anything like that. It's really stupid decisions. It's like that Batman situation earlier where they just announced all the things all at once. That's the stuff that kills me because they're all very avoidable problems.
Yeah, I don't get it, but there doesn't seem to be an end of it in sight.
My theory here is that obviously there are understaffed, as was said in the chat. There's not enough capacity there, but it also feels like there's this gloom that settled over a lot of businesses, comics as well, through the pandemic, and it just feels like people are like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I just need to do the minimal to get my job to the next place so I can get back into bed and cry. And I say that because some editors have gone on Twitter and said that they stayed in bed and cried.
Yes. And the sad thing is it's multiple editors. There's no one person you're actually talking about.
That's true. Yeah. So what about, what do you have in 2022? Do you have any comics you can announce? You got something coming up?
I do. What was it? I have one that's finished that should be announced soon. It's finished miniseries with through a publisher. I have another one that the first 3 issues are written and the second issue is being drawn right now. So I've got that. I'm actively editing like 4 different titles, 3 graphic novels, 1 comic. So
good news. That's very good news.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm talking to a few other publishers about stuff as well. So
yeah, well, that's good news. And I think as we kind of wrap up tonight, well, we won't do it with that one. That's too gloomy, but we'll leave it there. This is this will please most of the chat. We can kind of do this. We'll look up to a better 2022, and hopefully it is better next year. I do think we're hopefully going to turn the corner on some of this stuff, and we'll have some happy chats coming up. Like I said, good guests, good people come on, lots of good humor, more butts. Everybody loves that. So plenty. Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of things coming out. So we'll get there and we'll see through it together. I look, last year, by the way, amazing year. I such huge thanks I have to all of you for all the support, the questions, everything you've sent in, clicking on the videos, which helps in things, and the people who supported Jim and I Jump and supported Beckstar Joe and all the great guests we've had on here. You guys are amazing. It was amazing year where that's concerned. We're going to have a better year this year. So that part, see, we're bringing it up. The dog's barking over there. Yeah. There's a coyote in the yard or something. I don't know what's going on in Texas. Get my lasso and get out there. So, Joe, any last words, any words of encouragement for the chat here?
Well, I mean, like we were getting at before, there's always good comics coming out every single week. So some are more challenging than others to find, but there's always something coming out.
That's well said. And now, I am going to continue this role. I'm going to join Wes tomorrow on his stream. Are you on tomorrow?
I'm not on tomorrow. I'm going to be going to shops with my brother in the morning. So
No, you're going to have a good. Well, you'll have a good time then.
yeah, no, it'll be fun.
I hope you have a great visit to the shop. I'll be on in the morning with Wes for the first time in like 3 months, so that
Yeah,
will be
awesome.
that'll be crazy. We'll try and do that, and we'll continue to stream. I would love to stream with Casually Comics. I think she is always funny and amazing, and she loves these silly, crazy Superman stuff. So I love it.
Nice.
Anyway, thank you everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming, and yeah, have a good night. Be good to each other.
Yes.